And what I was wondering is, why is a similar phrase not used to describe women of other races? So for instance, a strong Chinese woman, or a strong Indian woman. Why do you guys think that that's not used to describe other races?
It's a good question.
I mean, I think that there can be a negative connotation to that term, strong black woman. And so that connotation is not necessarily always assimilated with women of other races, right? Nobody ever sees the angry white woman. Right? Nobody ever sees the angry Asian woman, or the angry Indian woman. The angry Spanish woman. Nobody ever sees them as being sassy. They are assertive. Right? That is the term that they use when those women are sassy. They are assertive. Oh, she's assertive.
Exactly.
She's snappy. No, she's rude. Like the rest of us. But you want to label me as aggressive. I don't like that. And so.
But you don't think they also probably get labeled like that to an extent?
I don't know. I feel like there's so many, I'm gonna say, personas for the black woman. So as you mentioned, the angry black woman, the crazy black woman, the strong black woman. What else, right? There's all these personas that somehow get attached to us, whether we want them or not, right? And I think the term a strong black woman, as we talked about, it depends on the context that it's being used in. But in my experience, most of the time, I've taken it as something positive. It is a persona that has, I guess, somehow attached itself to us, but I've accepted it.
Right.
Interesting.
Right, because strong white women are everywhere. Right, they're in the media. They're everywhere. They're on TV. They're on your broadcast. They're on every channel. They're on every station. So they're not labeled like that because they are put in those positions, or they are given the opportunity to be in those positions. When we break down those walls and get into those positions, then
it's almost like, oh wow,
good for
strong
you, girl.
Yeah.
Good for you, girl. No, like we deserve to be here. We've worked just as hard to get here, or if not harder. And so then we're labeled as being strong because we were able to fight. We have to fight for everything that we want, that is given to other women of other races, right? So check your newscast, right? Like for the longest time when I was young, and I'm showing my age, but like you had women like Dani Changg, who was in mainstream media for the longest time, right? Fighting news and delivering those hard, groundbreaking stories, and she was fantastic, but there was never a black woman doing that kind of stuff. There was nobody at that time, right? You have women like Lisa Ling, who is in Beirut watching the war unfold, and she's in the streets talking to sex workers, and they're not gonna know black lady to be the next Lisa Ling out there in the street doing that same kind of thing. You know what I mean? They wouldn't give her that opportunity because they might. People might not watch it, right? Look at how there's been, 24 seasons and there's one black bachelorette.
Yeah, it's so true.
Wow.
Yeah.
24 seasons, just one? Are there not more of us out there? Look. NBC, ABC, CBS. Right. So one. And there has not been a black bachelor.
Yeah.
Oh, there's never been one, eh?
No, never.
Okay.
Never.
I don't really watch that show, so I wouldn't know.
Yeah, so going back what Denise said, in regards to, white women, just they're being strong white women out there, and it, just being, I guess, just more widely
accepted.
It is accepted.
Yeah.
It is a privilege that they are just naturally born with, and
they just have it.
They just have that privilege, right? So that's who they are. They've had to do and endure all of these things and be all these things, where people don't see us like that necessarily.
Going back to my corporate experience, I feel like in my personal experience, I've had to put on that hat of a strong black woman, because 9 times out of 10, if not 100 times, like 10 times out of 10, I am the only black person in the room, the only black female in the room, amongst, the majority being white male, white female.
So you have to you probably almost feel somewhat of that you have to almost prove that you're supposed to be here.
Yes.
Exactly. Right? And that you're competent and that you know what you're doing. Right?
Yes.
But I actually thought of that same question in a little bit of a different way, in terms of, I was thinking perhaps they don't call, this is a strong Chinese woman or a strong Indian woman. Also, perhaps because I'm thinking sometimes they often, I think, in those cultures, they do stay together. The man is more of the one that is, providing and things like that, where they haven't had to be that woman that's doing it by herself. And that's so perhaps that could be part of it as well.
I think that is part of it, right? Those are patriarchal societies, typically where those women are from, right? So the man, you're right, is the provider. He is the one who works. These women stay home, and while they shoulder a big lot of the responsibility of taking care of the home, in their society, that is what they're supposed to do. And the husbands then bring in the income and do all that. The women raise the children and keep the home. Whereas with us,
you're doing it all.
We're doing it all.
You're doing it all.
Yep, we have the family.
Right, and expect it to look good.
The job.
And they don't want us to wear weave.
Right.
And we can't wear too much makeup. And you want me to twerk. And you want me to dress nice.
And be super sweet. Not angry.
I can't be sassy.
No, never.
I have to wear all of these hats.
It's a lot.
And that's just what we do, right? If you look at a lot of us Black women went to college or university. Or on the flip side, I don't know very many Black men in my age range, or even a little bit younger, that even went, because everybody's starting a business. Everyone's an entrepreneur. Everybody took a course, and it's fine to be successful, right? Apparently, you know, the Apple guy or one of those guys didn't go to college. That's fine. Steve Jobs went to college, whatever. It's fine. I'm not saying you got to go to college. Not for everybody. I get it. But those are the things that we do, and we do them because that's what our parents told us to do. That's what we're supposed to do. Is go to college or university, and so.
And part of it, I think, is that we're taught to be strong, right? By our mothers who might be maybe single and things like that. You're kind of taught that you need to be strong. You need to be able to take care of yourself. You need to go to school.
It's true.
All of these
but who also grew up in a patriarchal society in the West Indies. It is, it's very different than it is here. So my mother taught my sisters and I to be strong. Don't depend on anybody. Cook, clean, work, take your books, go to school, get your degree, go out there and find a job so that you don't need anybody. Because that's what she did. And when my dad left, she was able to be all of those things on her own. So she wanted that for her children. So that's what my sisters and I did. Although my sisters are married, both of them, and have had long, successful marriages, which is amazing. They have very great partners. For me, I'm having a harder time finding somebody, that I feel like I can be a good match with. I don't want to say on my level, because I'm still growing as a person. I have lots, and I think we can all say that, right? You're married, there's always room for us to grow.
Room for growth, for sure.
But just somebody who is a good match for me.
I agreed with that.
And I don't want to have to take down my strong Black woman to find somebody.
That.
You're gonna love me.
For me, honey.
Sassy pants and all. Okay? But don't be scared of me. Come find me. I'm so sweet. I'm so pretty, so sweet. I'm very bendy too. Come find me.
Alright, so this is the Denise Aziz ad. Right? We can put this on a dating site.
I know, right?
Put this on a dating site, no?
Who needs my stats? That's Daddy.
So the final question for you ladies is, do you consider yourself a strong Black woman, and why or why not?
Well, I definitely consider myself a strong woman, and yes, I am Black, so yes, I do consider myself a strong Black woman. And going back to the comment that you said earlier, whether it was learned from your mom or family members or so on and so forth, it's something that I've accepted as a strong Black woman. But in all things, I think you have to use wisdom. So from the conversations that we've been having, with my lens on it, in the workplace and the corporate environment, it's very different. So I feel that in my experience and learning from those around me, my mom and others, my grandmother and so on, when in the corporate environment, I feel like sometimes you have to take a step back. You have to take a step back, because there are other women of other cultures who might be doing exactly the same thing that you're doing, but you're coming at it from a different lens, from a different perspective, and the hat that I need to be strong, I need to do more, I need to be better, right? And that's fine to have, but at the same time, I think for me, sometimes it takes taking a step back and toning it down just a little bit, not being any less of myself, but just toning it down a little bit. Otherwise, it could come across as, this person is not teachable, they're not able to take directions, versus it coming across as this person is a leader and they're assertive, and that might be what you're demonstrating.
Yes.
But unfortunately, you know, it doesn't always come across that way.
And you know, to piggyback off of that is when you said to tone it down a little bit, that is so interesting because I've actually tried to do that in the context of relationships, kind of just toning it down a little bit.
Yeah.
And it's hard because then you're not your authentic self, and you don't want to put out that you don't want to put out who you're not, because then you don't want somebody to love you for who you're not, right? And you know, there's things out there you shouldn't have to tilt your crown for somebody to come and see that you're a queen. You know what I mean? Don't take your crown off.
But then in some ways, I'll be honest, for me personally, I felt that in some ways I was perhaps acting a little bit too strong, you know? Like, oh, I got my house, I got my blah, 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 like, you know? So I was like, you know what? With a man, that's not gonna work. I'm gonna need to tone that down a bit. I don't need to mention it's my house. You know? I could just, you know what I mean? You know what you have, right?
Well, he knows you don't live in a box.
Yes, exactly. So I have kind of like consciously made the effort to tone that down a bit in different areas, especially in a romantic sense. But I definitely think that can be applied to the workplace as well. But anyway, Denise, I want to give you a chance to answer as well.
Do I consider myself a strong Black woman? I consider myself a work in progress. Truth be told. Every day I'm learning, every day I'm growing, every day I make mistakes, and every day I hope that what I walk away with is I need to try to be my authentic self at most times. I need to be true to myself and what I want and what I expect and what I hope for, what I pray for, with respect to relationships and with respect to work and with respect to my health and family life, is just for what is meant for me is going to be for me, and what's not meant for me is going to pass me by, and I'm okay with that. I try not to get so caught up in being too strong that I'm not teachable, because there have been times where I have been knocked down a peg or two in the workplace, and I had to learn that I had to become more teachable. Otherwise, I'm not going to be able to elevate in the workplace. And same thing in relationships. People can see what they see, you know, and what a message that I would put out there to men is that the gospel, according to Instagram, isn't something that you should stand firm with. What you see on Instagram is just literally a snapshot of our lives. What we put out there, I have the power to put there. It's my password, it's my content. So what you see me post, whether it be a sassy saying about relationships that I find funny today, or if I want to put out a video of myself twerking in a bathing suit, or enjoying my vacation with my girlfriends, is just that. It is my life and my content. There is an old saying, and everybody knows the old saying, don't judge a book by its cover. Open the cover, flip through the pages, because we are worth it. We are worth reading, we are worth picking up off the shelf, we are worth buying and holding on to for a long time.
I like that. And talking about the layers, like, just, you know, that, I guess, that package of a strong Black woman, what else is there? Like, if you, you know, I guess, see a woman and you think of her as a strong Black woman, what else is there? Like, what are the other layers? Because there are so many layers.
There's a soft side to her.
Exactly.
There's so many.
But I feel that often gets overlooked, right, by that that package of a strong Black
woman. Or by that snapshot that they're seeing on Instagram or when you're out or whatever, right?
Absolutely. And the thing that I will find if I ask men who have daughters is, what you see in me, is that what you want to see in your daughter? Do you want your daughter to be some sort of weak-minded, feeble little girl who is taken advantage of by men? Or do you want do you want, and whether, and I meet men who have children because I don't have any children. And so that is a message that I will send to some men who I know have daughters, that what you see in me that you may perceive as scary or too much or too out there, you know what I mean? Somebody will see that opposite of your child and not want to invest in her, not want to look inside of her as well. So,
and a lot of people that will say that too. So sometimes I think it comes from a place of jealousy. They wish they could be like that. They wish they could be out there. They wish they could say what you say and stuff like that. But they don't have the confidence to do that.
Absolutely.
You know? So,
absolutely.
Yeah, I think it that's why I say it says a lot more about them than it says about you when people talk about you. Right?
Sure.
So,
and it doesn't mean it doesn't hit close to home, and it doesn't mean that we're not bothered by those things. We have to just try to continue to be our most authentic selves, and work towards, you know, the end goal, whatever that end goal is. You know what I mean? Chanel is, in my eyes, you know, a great example. Married, successful, career-driven, but still always moving forward. You're not staying here at this level. You know what I mean? And do you have children?
Not yet.
Right. So that's something else that you aspire to be. And there are women who envy your life, and there are women who hate your life because they think that you have it all. And maybe you're just at the tip of your iceberg, and there's more to go for you. And you know, Dani and I being single, but at a very high point in our careers and in our lives, that may tend to scare men off, but we're going to keep climbing, right? So you guys need to understand that we're going to keep on climbing, because that's what our parents taught us how to do. We were not taught to sit in the corner and to be wallflowers. We are going to continue to climb and do what we have to do. I know, by the grace of God, we're going to continue to keep on doing what we're doing. And thank you for having us here with this platform. This platform is so important for other Black women to see, and for other men to see as well. That there's just no reason to be afraid of us.
Exactly.
Okay, so I just want to thank you guys again so much for coming. I really enjoyed the discussion. I really think that it's going to be helpful to a lot of the, you know, young ladies, and even the, you know, big woman watching this as well, right? To really hear this and hear your guys' viewpoints. I really do, you know, even though, you know, you don't feel like you're there yet, I just consider you both strong women, which is hence why I asked you to be on. So thank you so much. Okay?
Thanks for having us.
And thank you so much for tuning in to Dani Changg. Please be sure that you comment and subscribe. Let us know what you thought about the video. If you thought there was any points we may have missed, please feel free to put that in the comments as well. And thanks again for tuning in to Dani Changg.
Never thought I could be so unselfish, 'cause I gave you everything. Gave you all that I had, now you want someone else.
You know, this kind of with the whole race thing going on, and you have to realize that you're being traumatized every time you watch a certain video, right?